we want to finish this thing off the right way. You know, want to put good stuff out there for the last week of the season, and you know, do everything we can to get a win to finish this thing off on a good note.
And do you think about this in terms of it might be your final start as a Bengals quarterback?
I understand the possibility of it. So, I mean, we'll have to wait and see once the season's over and see what happens. But, I mean, I definitely understand the possibility of that.
How much does that cross your mind at all? I mean, have you thought about it? I mean, you try to avoid it. I mean, what's that like, knowing that it is a possibility?
I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, it's obviously not my focus right now. And like I said, I understand the situation that I'm in, and so I'm trying to go out and play the best game I can play.
Yeah, with that being said, is that your tapes, your resume, and you're just trying to put as much good resume as you possibly can together?
Yeah, and I don't think it comes down to just this game, obviously. Right. But I mean, like I said, I want to finish this thing off the right way. I want to finish this thing off with a win for this team, and so I'm doing everything I can to make sure we play well on Sunday.
Are they doing similar things defensively than they did the last time you played? You haven't played that long ago. Are they pretty much the same defensively?
Yeah, I mean, and the guys are the same. There's not new personnel in there, so I mean, there's some similarities to what they've been doing. And so there's only a couple weeks ago that we played them.
Do you anticipate needing to kind of like keep your emotions in check at all on Sunday, or do you feel like that will be so far from you'll be able to block all that out when the game's going on?
Yeah, it won't be my focus at all. You know, the whole thing is, you know, just playing and trying to lead this team and play well. You know, it's not, you know, after the fact. I mean, we'll see what happens, but you know, during the game, I don't expect there to be anything.
What do you expect that to hinge on in terms of what happens moving forward?
What do you mean by that?
Like what, you know, in terms of. I guess just how I asked it. I mean, what outcomes do need to happen for you to either leave or go, or I mean, in your mind, I mean, what are you looking for once the season ends in terms of your long-term outlook?
I mean, we'll have to handle that when the season's over. I don't know. I have to see what the organization's thinking, and we'll move forward from there.
Did you come into the season just with a new coach, kind of feeling like this maybe could be your last year, that you were going to need?
Not at all. No.
Why do you think the season's kind of went the way it has for you personally?
I mean, there's been a lot of different factors that have gone into this year. You know, a lot of stuff that's happened in each game that's been different that has caused us not to win, and so you know that's what it comes down to. I mean, it's hard to put your finger on one thing. If we would have figured that out, it would have, you know, obviously helped us out early on. But I mean, there's been a lot of different things that have gone on.
Your splits with and without AJ your entire career have been pretty vast. I mean, is that something that you've allowed yourself to think about, how differently this year looks for you and for this offense if AJ had been there?
I mean, obviously we want AJ out there, and we wish he could have been healthy this year, and that obviously wasn't the case. So, I mean, when you don't have your best player on your team, I mean, you're you know, a little behind from the start.
8 games decided by 8 points or less. 9 games decided by 10 points or less. Right on the cusp of it. How frustrating has it been?
Yeah, you can look back at so many games and say, all right, if we would have made a play here, made a play there, it could have changed the whole game. And so that's kind of been the story of the season is, you know, we're not making enough plays when we needed to.
How much of that last game with Cleveland was kind of a microcosm of that? Your red zone 5 times, 1 touchdown, obviously, and left a lot of points out there.
Yeah, I mean, we felt like we had control of that game, and you know, they did a good job in the red zone, and they stopped us. We weren't able to get in there, score touchdowns, and that affected, you know, just the outcome of the game. And so I think we understand that. We had struggled down there, you know, getting touchdowns and not kicking field goals, and I mean, that one hurt us.
You know, given the uncertainty of the future, how much more would a win maybe this Sunday mean than a regular Week 17 victory?
I mean, I try to win every time I'm out there. It obviously would feel good to end the season off with a win, end the season off on a good note, and so I mean that's the whole focus, is to finish this thing off the right way.
A division rival can get a division win, like you said, you were so close just a couple weeks ago. I mean, does that add to the potential sweetness?
Yeah, I mean, when you feel like you know, you could have won some of these games. I mean, obviously when you play in the division, you get a chance to play them again, and so you know, motivation, whatever it is. I mean, we feel like we just want to go out and play like we know we can play for 4 quarters, and you know, I think we'll if we can do that, we'll put ourselves in a good position to win.
9 years is a long time. You were a kid when you got here. Father of 3 now. Is it a little overwhelming to think that, you know, this could be it?
It's not the end of my career. Obviously, there's been a lot of our life has been here in Cincinnati, and again, we don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, and I'll have to wait and see after the season for all that to get handled. But you know, a big part of our life has been here, and you know, we've made Cincinnati our home, and you know, we've grown up. My family's grown up together. JJ and I have, you know, spent our whole married life here, like 3 kids, like you said. So this city's been a big part of our life.
What has it been about the city that you've been able to connect with off the field? I mean, with everything that you've done here, I mean, you can easily say maybe that would have been the case everywhere you would have gone, but there does seem to be a connection you guys have found off the field here at the city. Is there something, a moment where you felt like that happened for you, or something like that?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's one thing. I think there's a lot of good people here in Cincinnati, and there's a lot of people that are willing to, you know, to help others. And I think, you know, kind of once we started our foundation and kind of started some of the things that we've been doing, there's a lot of people that hopped on board just because they're willing to serve and willing to, you know, give to those in need. And so I think there was an instant connection there. And then we've just trying to be as involved as we can and try to help out in so many different ways. And so I think you can't do it by yourself. You have to have support from a lot of people, and we've had a lot of support from the city.
Does it kind of blow you away? Does it kind of blow you away where that connection has grown to? I mean, when you came here, you know, that's probably the last thing you were thinking about, but to have that here now, I mean, does that kind of blow you away where that's at now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where, you know, once you decide you're gonna, start a foundation or start a charity or help out in a certain way, you need people to support it. But like once you're starting it, you know, when we were 23 years old, we obviously didn't understand everything, and so from where we're at now to from where we started, I mean, it's night and day. So so we've had a lot of support along the way, and I mean, it's been awesome to see all the people that we've been able to help.
Is there any part of the foundation you take particular satisfaction in? Any you know, you've been involved in so many different areas. Is there one thing when you take kind of really that kind of warms your heart?
Yeah, I think obviously we've been able to meet a lot of people and hear so many different stories, and I think just with all the different programs that we've done, we've tried to incorporate the whole family in everything that we do. It's not just the kid that's going through it, it's the whole family. And so to give to, you know, give to parents of these kids, to give to the kids, the siblings, everybody involved. I mean, I think that's really how we tried to focus. And I mean, and then in the hundreds of thousands of dollars that we've given, you know, I think we've been able to help a ton of people. And you know, that's what we're called to do. That's the good thing about the NFL. Not only is it, you know, a sport that you love to play, but it gives you this platform that people can get behind, and you can reach a lot of people that you know, some people can't reach. And I think that's what makes, you know, just sports so special in general, is because there's so many, not only kids looking up to you, but people that can back you and support you just because of the name of the NFL, the Bengals, position you are, whatever it is. And so for JJ and I, we weren't taking that lightly. We knew that God gave us this platform for a reason. So that's why we were trying to help and serve as many people as we can.
You just hit on 2 things, you know, foundation, obviously, but then family and faith. You know, you mentioned JJ, your kids, and your faith. With all you've been through, the adversity, both personal and team adversity, how big has family and faith been for you? It's
been huge. I think you know, it's been my support system from the beginning. You know, to be able to lean back on my faith and to realize that, you know, God's plan is way bigger than mine, and so you have to trust in that. And everything that's gone on this year, it really has tested that. But at the end of the day, I know that, you know, my life, my future, my family's future, everything is in God's hand. And I'm truly believing that the best is going to come from that. And like I said, his plan's way greater than mine. We can think that we know exactly how we want our life to go. We know exactly how our career can go, exactly how, all different phases of your life. But you never know what's going to happen, and you have to trust that God's got you, and that's what we're living in right now, and that's what we're believing and trusting in.
You had said you had no idea that this season would end. Did you, the way it has, did you fully expect to have a good year and you re-sign here for 5 more or 6 more years? Is that what you expect?
Absolutely, and I expected to have a good year, and the contract stuff, that's not. That wasn't the focus. It was to come in and play well and win a lot of games. And when this thing all got started this year, it felt like we had a chance of that. And obviously, there's been a lot of different things that have happened that have taken that away and has allowed it not to happen. But we still had chances this year, and But yeah, I fully expected to have the season go a lot different than it has.
You've repeatedly said, I guess maybe at the deadline, that you want to be a starter somewhere in 2020. Is that still the belief that as you enter this game and then the offseason that you do want to be a starter somewhere in the league next season and moving forward?
Yes, absolutely.
Could you see being back here as a mentor to a rookie?
I'm under contract, so I don't know what they're going to be thinking. And so, again, we'll figure all this stuff out, once the season's over.
Your first year, you inherited a 4-12 team that everybody expected to be one of the worst in the NFL. Is there a lesson there for this team going through the season that you've gone through?
Yeah, what happens the year before doesn't determine what's going to happen the next year. And, that goes both ways. We've been part of it where we, haven't had a good season and been able to follow it up with a good season. And we've had good seasons where we haven't been able to, make the playoffs afterwards and things like that. So, I think obviously next year will be a new team, be a new year, new opportunities. And so, there definitely is a lesson in that.
How much do you think the overwhelming amount of changes that were going on here this year was a big part of why it went the way that it did? Any new coaching staff struggles across the league, but that and just all the change. How much do you feel like that was part of maybe what made it a hard year to get on the right foot?
That's hard to say. I wouldn't say that the change is the reason why we didn't have the season we thought we were going to have. Like Lap was saying, there's been a lot of these games that have been close, and we've had chances, and we just weren't able to get it done. So you can't say all the changes is a reason for it. So, yeah, I think there's been so many different things that have happened in each game and each, every time we've been out there that it's hard to say that change was the reason.
It's so hard. Guys come into the league, have had great college careers, been part of great programs, haven't really experienced losing, And I remember when you lost 3 in a row here. That was the first time you'd lost 3 in a row in youth, high school, college sports. To lose 3 in a row, that's amazing. You've never lost more than 2 games in a row. So what was this like to go through with that kind of a background in your athletic career to experience this type of season?
Yeah, it's obviously been tough. Haven't been used to it. You never want to get used to losing, but I've never experienced it, really in my career. And so, but even in the losing, you still have to go to work the same way. You still have to prepare. You still have to believe that you're going to get it done, and you've got to find some way to get it turned around. And we haven't done that enough this year. But there's definitely things that I can take away from this year.
Is that the biggest lesson learned? Just keep your nose to the grindstone. What big? You learn something from every experience. What's the biggest thing you learned from this?
Yeah, I think you can even go back to last game. To be able to have the comeback that we did with the season that we've been having, you can't worry about the record. You can't worry about the score. You just got to go play, and you just got to, do whatever it takes to try to win these games. And I think that's, it's shown with what this team has done. To be able to do that in week 16 of the season with our record and stuff, I think it shows a lot about this team.
Is there a silver lining for you in kind of how the season's gone, and is there you really enjoyed, even despite the record and the performance?
Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed coming to work every day. There's a lot of good people in this locker room, good people in this organization, and so, I mean, football hasn't gone the way we wanted to, but the friendships, relationships that you build playing this game. I mean, these, you know, getting to know people on a different level, and I think that's what makes this a lot of fun. That's why it's the best team game in sports. I mean, there's guys in that locker room that I'll be friends with for the rest of my life.
You said you expected to have a good season. If someone had told you A.J. Green's not going to play it down, John Ross is going to miss half the season, you're going to be using your fourth left tackle for a big chunk of time, when you said no team can overcome that.
I mean, that obviously sets you back, and like I said, there's been a lot of different factors that have gone into this year, but you know, if you sit right here and say we wish we could have been healthy the whole year and things could be different, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, we're not making any excuses for what's going on.
How do you want to, if this is indeed the last game, how do you want to be remembered as the starting quarterback here in your time in Cincy? How do you want people to remember you?
Yeah, I think for more than just what playing the game, I think it's kind of what we were speaking on earlier. What we were able to do in this community. I feel like that was the one thing that we wanted to do when we first got here, is we want to make sure that we were all in, and we've been all in to Cincinnati since we got here, and hopefully people see that. I've received a lot of support throughout my years here, and again, we'll have to wait and see how this whole thing ends up.
From a personal standpoint, and I know you're not an egocentric type guy, but you set records, you broke records of a quarterback. The Hall of Fame discussion every year, when the Hall of Fame voting comes up, and you're the record holder in many categories. What does that mean to you personally?
Yeah, it means a lot. To be able to pass Kenny. I mean, like you said, he's got, he's led the league in passer rating several times. He's played in Super Bowls, won MVP. I mean, to play in the same organization and be able to beat some of his records, obviously that means a lot. And especially, like I said, he's considered for the Hall of Fame. Seems like every year, and should be. And so, yeah, obviously that's an accomplishment that I don't take lightly. Obviously, I've been a part of some great teams, great offenses, had a lot of great players around me that have helped that happen, and so that's what makes it fun.